very diverse bunch. That is very important actually. Uh, that makes it a great thing. So a small mindfulness exercise, wherever you sit, wherever you are at this point of time, we are connecting with our time and space. Basically, I have written the template here. You can read the template at the same time. You can understand where you are. You can fill in the place. You can fill in the time, and you need to hack your feeling. You need to get in touch with your feeling. What do you feel now exactly? It is voicing in. You need not be loud. You need not unmute. It is to yourself you are conversing. It is to yourself you are talking, and from yourself you are understanding what you feel. Um, for your understanding, I'm thinking a little louder. Uh, being here in Khandala, Maharashtra, India, 6:43. Now I feel so calm, peaceful, and happy. So you can take a minute, connect with yourself, your feelings. If you feel like closing your eyes, you are free to close your eyes. Let me just presume that you have had access to your feeling. So we are moving to our today's session, and the today's session would be ideally a conversation between us. So I would request you to unmute. Each of you can unmute yourselves and read what is there, see what is there in the screen, and read it. Try to read it the way you like it.
Interact, I have.
Brilliant, Sri Kumar. Okay.
Interact, I have.
Brilliant. So I'm just putting together all three words. Interactive. Today's session should be interactive. We are deriving more meanings from a single word. This would be the best introduction I can give you for divergent thinking. How to derive possibilities more than the probabilities. So, uh, before getting into the session, you might have heard, I think, therefore I am. You know who said it? Have you ever heard of this? Okay, you can unmute and speak if you know who said it. If not, it's none other than Rene Descartes. Descartes, have you heard of it? He's one of the most prominent philosopher, not just because of him being a great philosopher, but this set of words, this sentence uh, has been intrigued a lot, even now, today, as the man think, so he is. So are we our thoughts? Are we more or less than our thoughts? What our thoughts are? Or are we our feelings? There is a lot of discussions, discourses, controversies running around this. I think, therefore I am. So I hope you have internalized this. I think, therefore I am. We are getting into the flight. We have already, the flight is going to start. Let me know what you see on the screen. What is your understanding? this is a what it looks like. Any of you can unmute and tell me. What do you see? What is this red icon?
Question mark.
Yeah.
Question mark. Thank you. It's a question mark. So this question mark is going to help us hack a lot of entities which hasn't been really known or which hasn't been identified or utilized, which is deep within us and with which we relate with our realities, our world, our universe. So these are nothing but the surgical tools to open your mind. What, when, where, how, why, whom. So I'm just inverting this question mark upside down. And may I please get to know what you see in the screen? You can unmute and speak. Whatever comes to your mind, this is a shape which is an inverted question mark. Beyond an inverted question mark, what you find here, I would really like to know.
Participants can also, please be a little more interactive so that,
Yes.
you can come up with anything funny, comical, even a useless thing. It's fine. Please let's make this a more interactive session.
Hook.
For me, it
Hook.
looks like
Thank you, Thomas.
anchor.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, hook. What else?
We
What
live in
else was there?
Anchor.
Anchor. Beautiful. Hook, anchor. I would like to hear if there are more responses.
I feel trunk of a Ganesha.
Wow,
Lovely.
that is very
Wow.
interesting.
Superb.
Okay, it's a trunk of a Ganesha. This is first time I'm hearing this. It's very interesting. Yeah, it seems very much like the trunk of a Ganesha. Brilliant. Anything else? Actually, you've started opening your mind. We are actually using others' head. That's what we are. That's what we are doing now. What is happening now?
I don't know the exact name, but this is the one going to use for stopping the boats or the ship.
Anchor. That is anchor.
Yes,
Anchor. Anchor.
And
And anything else you could find here?
it's like a
I
fishing
remember
hook.
Swapna. Yeah, you said earlier like it looks like something very interesting. You said I don't remember what you were saying earlier in one of the sessions. Okay, let's take this. This is nothing but a hook. Just a second.
So Ajit, any help needed with the presentation slides?
Yes, I'm presenting it once again. I'm presenting.
Yeah.
Is it visible?
Yeah.
Yes.
It is, Ajit. Yes, it
Bit
is.
of internet issues. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
We are getting into today's program. It is on divergent thinking. Divergent thinking. When you speak about divergent thinking, we should be connected with convergent thinking as well. Because if there is an uphill journey, we'll have to come down. So it is nothing but divergent thinking is where we use questions. So that is what we are getting connected with today. How to use questions to create possibilities, generate possibilities. But then there is no point in getting enough number of possibilities and you not choosing one among that. So divergent thinking, we are hacking our inner entities. Whereas convergent thinking is purely our decision making, what choices to choose out of the alternatives. available. So convergent thinking is nothing but the answer. It's a choice. It's the decision that you make. And as you can see here, divergent thinking is inside out, whereas convergent thinking is outside in. That's where you can see these facts or realities that you perceive around you. That is nothing but your convergent thinking. That those are nothing but your choices. That is why I've asked you to say a few words about yourself. Maybe the one movie that you like, the one book that you like to read or like you have liked, or that particular hobby that you have chosen. Your choices are mostly conscious in nature, whereas ideas, these are deep dwelt in our inner consciousness, unconscious or subconscious being. That's where we need to use this question mark, these questions, these surgical tools. I hope you get a very brief idea on what is divergent and convergent thinking. I won't be speaking much about this. We'll do a few exercises which takes you to the intricacies of how, why, when, where, for whom, who. So this helps us to expand rather than linearly extending or moving in a linear manner. The divergent and convergent thinking helps us to expand in a three-dimensional or expand in a 360-degree, where question help you to vertically extend yourself, and answers are nothing but your preferences, how you horizontally expand. So mix of both question and answers make you expand in all directions, all possible directions. I wouldn't say four directions. Four directions is what we see in the books. There are many directions, as there are many dimensions. So we are starting with one first activity. I want all of you to unmute yourself and speak one. We have 10 people over here. Each of you could identify at least one use of a brick beyond the use of, beyond its defined use. We are going beyond the definitions. You are free to unmute yourself and speak out rather than chatting or typing. I would like to hear you. Identify any 10 uses of a brick.
Paperweight.
Paperweight, brilliant. You can use it as a paperweight. And when you identify, it is not necessary that it should be useful. It can be unuseless also.
Yeah.
It can be funny also. It can be beyond the rules, regulations also. It can be beyond the scope of your belief system also. It can be beyond right and wrong. Thank you so much, Vasudha.
We can use for supporting something, like, for example.
For support.
Yeah.
Yes. Can you give me an example? Support.
Suppose, like, I have a table here is broken with one leg, so I can use this, this brick.
Wow.
Brick.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Lovely,
Excellent.
lovely.
Thank you. Thank you,
I
Praveen.
think of it, Ajit, as a slab for mithai, sweet.
Yeah.
We can use it as a platform for cooking round base pots.
Oh, that's brilliant. Okay. We can have 3 bricks, or you mean to say that we can keep it together and.
Yeah,
Make
especially for Pongala.
cooking.
Yeah, Pongala. Pongala. This is something which is really used for Pongala. Okay, that is brilliant.
Wow,
It's a
lovely
festival
answer,
in
yes.
Kerala where we use this.
Yes.
Very very true. Excellent.
Then the other,
Anything?
I just want to share this one because I'm a math teacher, this is the
I was wondering.
best shape, we can fit this one in a box. If you go for like a circle shape or round shape or whatever the shape, right? The square and the rectangle are the best shape to fit a box.
Yeah.
because we can fill the box with, suppose the chocolate, the packet of chocolates.
Ah.
So we can fill in,
Fill maximum.
like a bigger boxes,
You mean to say it can have maximum volume?
Yeah,
in that
maximum
space.
volumes, and you can just cover everything and it's well packed after the,
Okay,
this
okay.
shape.
And you can use this for teaching geometry probably, no? Have you? I don't know.
Can use, but bricks, it's
Oh.
too much weight. So we
Yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah.
prefer, we're going to make models like this.
I mean, when we generate, the idea of divergent thinking is we have a lot of constraints. But when you generate possibilities, you can be free from this. I would say brick, you can use to kill someone, you can use brick. We should think beyond all what is say rules, regulations, ethics, because all these constraints come after that. When you make your choice, that is where the convergent thinking is.
Yeah,
We do divergent thinking.
another use is like nowadays gym is not available. We can use this as a weight lifting.
Yeah,
Oh,
excellent,
lovely.
excellent. At home, you don't want to risk yourself going to gym every day.
You're going to be
Why
so
don't we use
careful
it?
because sometimes it's broken from the middle part, so it's going to hurt you more.
Yeah, it's good for gym. And your karate chop, you use this one, na
Yeah, for
brick, na.
this, yes. With
I
the
think
brick.
we've had 10 uses of a brick.
Yeah.
Do we have more uses which you can identify? Heard melodies are great, but sweeter are the unheard melodies. Those who haven't spoken, you are welcome
Yeah,
to speak.
Perhaps crush it into a
Ah,
powder form and remold it into something else, like a
yes, excellent.
small pot or something.
Yeah, that powder can be used just as for coloring or color something.
Yeah.
Here,
May I know your good
stu-
name? It was written
Yeah.
Anju, that's why I was asking.
it's actually negative.
Yeah, yeah.
access.
And you here.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's actually
Yes.
negative, but in Kerala, people are using this to mix along with the red chili powder.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, do people use it or maybe companies use it?
Companies use it, but ultimately it going to the layman, right? I mean, the end user.
Exactly.
So it's
To
a
the general
masala.
public, it
It's a
goes.
masala. Fake masala, is it?
It's to adulterate masala.
Adulterated. Yes.
That
Fake masala.
chili powder. Yeah.
Super.
Excellent.
During
Yes, generate.
student agitation, we throw this at the buses, government buses.
Wow. Yeah. During agitation, you can throw it. Yeah. It will surely break the glass of a bus.
So
For sure.
Right,
I'm sure.
right.
Right. Exactly. You
Also,
can throw it.
use this to hold small tires, maybe cycle tires, like
Cycle tires. Yeah. This is
stop.
actually.
Stop. Yeah.
Yeah. How? What you can use it for cycle tires?
If the cycle tires or small tires, weightless tires, if we keep in the sliding position just to stop it, I think we
Yeah. Exactly. Even maybe for a small vehicle,
yeah,
we
you
can
know
keep
the
it.
cart we used to have that
Yeah.
cart, two-tired cart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. A car maybe in a slanting position, you can stop it. You can as a stopper, you can use it
just
very,
go
very, very
forward.
well.
Very nice. Lovely answer.
Any
As a,
other
as a break, yeah, break.
I
as a
think
break?
we are
Yeah,
using
as
for
an external
constructions,
break.
right?
Yes.
Constructions, the houses.
Yeah, that is
Constructions.
the defined use.
I
We
mean-
are going beyond definition.
Okay.
This is this is defined. This is made for that purpose. We have made the chair to sit, but what more possibilities you can generate out of a chair rather than sitting? That's what we are thinking of now. That's what divergent thinking is, going beyond definitions. So I think we've got more than 10 uses,
Yeah.
10 uses, I'm sure.
Yes.
Shall we move on to next slide? It's a question to you. So the question is simple. Who invented airplane?
Wright brothers.
Right, brothers, you are right, Thomas. Any other answer? This is where we go beyond answer. Questions go beyond answer.
Hanuman.
Answers. Hanuman. Hanuman.
Beautiful. Super.
Hanuman. That's
He-
interesting. Hanuman used to fly, but did he use airplane?
No, he did not use airplane, but he had his own in-house flying
He could
equipments
fly.
with
I
it.
mean, he could fly. I would say the one who has presented Ravana with this, with his flying machine could be
Oh
Pushpa
yeah,
Viman.
Pushpaman.
the inventor. Inventor, I think.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
that is the oldest
So
of all what we have heard, at least. That would be the flying machine. Yeah. Is there any other answer? More answers we need.
Birds,
Question just-
they show you aerodynamics of,
Ah.
like they just basically help you showing aerodynamics.
Aerodynamics is the principle behind this one. So
Bird.
you're meaning the one who invented aerodynamics?
No, birds. They show you.
Okay, birds. It is modeled out of birds. Okay, that's a very brilliant answer. I really like it. Birds are actually predecessors of airplane, no doubt, 100%. And
Leonardo da Vinci.
yes.
Leonardo da Vinci had some designs of a helicopter-like some machine.
Exactly. That's where the answer is. That's where the invention. I feel like Leonardo da Vinci is the in the recorded history. He is the first one to design or invent this possibility. I would say Wright brothers, if we rightly point out, they have discovered airplane, flying machine. They have discovered it from what Leonardo da Vinci has modeled. Leonardo da Vinci was the first one to model. This is you can see in the background, right side picture. You can see one of the models. He has created a lot of models, many models of a flying machine. And as you all may know, Leonardo da Vinci is probably the most intelligent person in the last millennium. He is well known as a writer, as a philosopher, as a scientist, and more importantly, as everyone knows, he is an artist who is a painter, who is a sculptor. So all these skills he has used, and he would be an ideal divergent thinker whom we can follow. So he made different models of flying machine, that too based on the scientific principle of aerodynamics, as he was a scientist as well, which was later on materialized by two cycle repairing guys in the form of a flying machine, which is we call airplane today. And why I have taken this aeroplane, because there is a particular reason. Aeroplane, can you trace the path of an airplane, how it is? How airplane flies? Is that path similar? Can you just identify the path of an airplane? What shape it is, more or less?
You want me to explain from the beginning to the end, or you?
Yeah, how? Yeah, exactly. How the?
It's like a projectile
tracing-
motion.
Projectile, exactly. It is a projectile motion. A projectile motion is ideal to understand what is divergent and convergent thinking. How we can diverge to fly up. How we can open up our bandwidth. Same way our thought processes. If we use divergent thinking, but the fuel is not the one which is used for aviation. The fuel is this question mark. Set of questions that we ask ourselves, which helps us to diverge, think beyond the possibilities or definitions or what we see, what we hear, and we diverge, but then we'll have to make a choice at last. That's why we converge back to the ground. I mean, the same path you can trace if you remember a story, at least those who are in Kerala, those who are from Kerala, Narayana Tuprandan. Narayana Tuprandan's story, have you heard of?
Yes.
What he has been doing, anybody can, probably in a sentence, if you could say, those who don't know that story at least understand what exactly he does.
Or the rock right from the top of the mountain, if I remember.
Yeah, he roll up this rock which is really heavy. With all hardships, he will just roll up till the top of a hill and leave it how it falls down. So this has a lot of significance. We are not going into that here in our introductory session. But of course, he himself is a great model. What I've been trying to communicate is nothing but human beings are model makers or map makers. We make a lot of models of reality. Our a laptop which we are using now, that is in front of me, it is a model. Actually, it is modeled from our brain. It is a system model which we say we have an input, we have a processing system which will give an output which we see through monitor. Anything and everything that we use, the pen is a model. So that's how this aeroplane as a model it started. The journey of airplane starts from Leonardo da Vinci, right from the conception. That's where it was in the womb, and then it came out through Wright brothers. I think you're getting into the real crux of divergent thinking. If you'd like to share something in between, you can just please let me know and speak out. So next, we have been tuned with a good metaphor which we have been using throughout our life. That is nothing but the iceberg metaphor. At least once in your lifetime, you might have heard of this metaphor. I just want to know, is there anybody who doesn't know or doesn't hear about this metaphor, iceberg? From the quality and the kind of answers that you have been giving, I feel like you might have heard at least once in your lifetime. Iceberg, how iceberg is used as a model. You can unmute and speak if you remember where you heard it or what it is a model of.
Titanic.
Titanic, you
Titanic.
remember? Okay, Titanic. Yeah, Titanic story revolves around this metaphor actually.
Yes.
Titanic underestimated the iceberg. That is the depth of the iceberg. I mean, those science people, they based on the science, basic principles of science, it is said that maybe the specific density. I don't know the exact terminology to coin that. Only 1/10 is shown above the sea level. 9/10 of the iceberg is inside the water, inside the ocean, inside the sea level. So Titanic underestimated this 1/10, and 1/10 is what is happening as the reality. And if you take that as as everything, you're simply getting into a self-destruction. Whatever we perceive in the day-to-day reality with our senses, 5 senses, that is just 1/10 of the reality. In actuality, it is not even 1/10, probably 1/100th of that of the actual reality. So what we see as events, what we see as behavior from someone which we judge, based on which we judge people, it is just 1/10 or 1/100th or 1,000th of the personality or the persona of that person. Are you able to connect with this metaphor?
Yeah. Ajit, this also could be more like how you have a belief and values.
Yeah.
It's just literally like this iceberg that our belief and values gets so fast shaking whenever
Yeah.
there is a problem.
Very
So,
true. I mean, our beliefs
because-
and values are faculties of our subconscious. This is actually the best used as a metaphor of mind.
Yes, so it shakes up. We only look at the tip and get shaken and don't have that strength to believe that how solid we are when we have that faith in God, and He's
Yeah.
always standing with us. It
Yeah.
shakes in a minute.
Exactly. This is the reality has a background which you cannot see, hear, or perceive or sense with our five senses, or even with our thoughts, it cannot easily be. So if we go deep into this, there will be some resources or skill sets or capabilities which are also hidden, which are not actually explored. Have we explored all our resources, inner resources? Not at all.
We don't
There
do
are
it. That's the
maps.
reason it shakes. Yeah.
Yes,
That's the reason your belief shakes. So
exactly.
because you,
We have
yeah.
certain maps or models of the reality, but that map is not the territory. It is very different from territory, and these mental maps, models, that is also in the subconscious level. And we do dwell deep into the unconscious level. We could connect with the beliefs, values, identity. I mean, those who might have heard of the six neurological levels in NLP. I mean, I have taken uh, some of these from that model, basically, especially beliefs, values, identity, and vision. And if we go deep down again, then it will be the spiritual realm, which we cannot even, which is beyond our senses and the possibilities of our mind. So we are not going into that. We are strictly in the framework of thinking now. So metaphors, what are metaphors? I've just given you a metaphor, iceberg metaphor. What is a metaphor? Why metaphors? What is its connection with question? What can enrich our metaphors? What metaphors you better relate with yourself? Can you identify? Ask you to identify one metaphor for yourself. Will you be able to identify one metaphor? Is there anybody who hasn't heard of this word, or who cannot connect with this word metaphor? In the school, your
Your
English teacher, your language
yes,
teacher
yeah,
might have taught you
yes.
metaphors
That's
as
what I said.
figure of speech, similes, metaphors.
It's an implied simile. Implied simile.
Yeah, an implied meaning. It has implied meaning. You look
Yes.
at this ocean and sea. Ocean has the implied meaning of life. Ocean is nothing but life. Life is like ocean. We were just discussing, Swapna, the moon is like the mirror,
That's the
isn't it?
implied.
It's a metaphor.
Yes. Yes.
Very
It's
much a metaphor.
same like how in our school we have always done. Camel is the ship of the desert.
Yeah, camel
Camel,
is the ship of the
right?
desert.
Such a such a simple example, but that's the
That
that's the
has
way it
powerful
is.
meaning. So, are you able to relate with this term metaphor? I wish I could hear from some of the participants.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at the chat if someone has written something.
Yeah, you are free to use chat box also, but I would like to hear you here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
nothing in the
just
chat window now.
I just
No,
want to
nothing.
add one more thing with it.
Yes,
Just
yes,
sir,
Praveen.
what I feel like, we are using a part of our brain like a little bit on the top part of the sea,
Yes.
the rest of the body, the brain, we're going to use that much.
Huh.
Maybe the people become mad, when they use the all part of the brain,
Yeah.
they couldn't control their body, their, brain.
Yes.
So, you know, we will see in our community or like society, the people, become addicted with the books, they're reading a lot and they're just not sleeping well and reading a bunch of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yes.
So can we connect to this one with that, or that's a separate thing? What do
We can very well, because what we see as a person's behavior is just the tip of that iceberg. What we use for our decision making, day-to-day decision making, is again the tip of our iceberg. But that decision making is facilitated by a lot of things inside the ocean. I mean, it is purely facilitated by the faculties inside the ocean, which we cannot see, hear, touch, sense, smell, taste, which is again another what is a dimension of our brain assets,
And
which
I
is
really
not
like
out.
that point, the one you like, the behavior, the like we're going to use that 5% behavior, the remaining
Exactly.
95 is hiding,
Yeah.
like, so I really like
I
that
would
one.
say, I mean, Praveen being my friend, I can say that, Praveen is not, Praveen, you are not your behavior. If I am just understanding Praveen based on your behavior, I might be wrong. And
yeah, I'm
that
going to
should
research about that anyway.
exactly. I'm going to be the Titanic which is going to get destroyed, hitting you, because you are much more than your behavior. You're much more than what you do. Our being is deep dwelt, or doing is just a part, one tenth or 1/100th of what we are. Thank you for initiating this, Praveen. So coming to this questions, why questions and metaphors are connected? Why I have brought questions? Because metaphors are power-packed entities. You know, if you read any religious script, any religion for that matter, any religious script or any mythical stories, or maybe the grandma stories or Aesop fables, all these are um, rich with metaphors. Any poems, if you read, any stories, these are rich with metaphors. Metaphors we can hack by using question. The reality the metaphor tries to depict, the multiple reality, not the single reality, you can get access to that through questions. You can ask, life is like a sea, what is there which you makes you say so? How life is like a sea, why life is like a sea? You can ask questions. There's surgical tools you can use to generate maximum possibilities out of the metaphors, or meanings out of the metaphors. And there's something very important you could read. If you want to change your world, you can simply change your metaphors. We have metaphors, we have models, we have maps of many reality around us. And if you change that map, if you change that model, if you change that metaphor, which is deep encoded, which is an encoded thing, if we change that slightly, we can make big changes in our life, in the world. How we see the world become very different if we make slight changes in our metaphors, in our models. I'm not going into the practical side of that. Uh, we will have another. Yes.
This is good, Ajit. It looks like
Yes.
you've got Aladdin here. What are you
Yes. Yes.
now?
None other than Aladdin.
Planning to be the Aladdin.
Huh. So, like metaphors, actually, stories, which is another thing which is deep inside the sea level. Stories carry much more than what they seem to. So I've taken this Aladdin story. Um, I have a question. You can unmute and speak. What is this? You all know the story of Aladdin, I presume so. Is there anybody who doesn't at least hear of Aladdin and the magic lamp?
I think there'll be no one in the crowd who will not know.
Who might not have come across with this? In the lifetime once, at least you've heard of this story. You may not remember the story, that's different, but you know, this is a story which is taken from Arabian Nights.
Yeah, it still remains as a story only.
Yeah, that's a power. But the power of the story is, Divya, would you like to speak in the whole story without even knowing the story, what this magic lamp signifies, and who is this Aladdin?
Magic lives, if I look from that perspective, it's nothing but my mind.
Your mind, yes. Yeah. Then, so who is Aladdin?
Myself.
Brilliant. You are Aladdin, and magic lamp is your this
Mind.
mind. You're very close to, yeah, very
Beautiful.
beautifully said. Is there any other versions that you could understand? Anybody? All of you are free to speak out on this.
So Mahesh,
What
you
is
want to
this
give a
magic
try
lamp?
this time?
All of you are free to speak, and less heard voices are the
Yes.
sweetest.
So Binesh, Mahesh, Thomas,
Yeah.
even
No, I
Sri
think
Kumar.
we should really let us make it a little more participative audience.
I could see
Let's hear
Jacob.
you.
I could see Sri Kumar, Thomas, Vijay Lakshmi. Um, Actually, you are all minds unexplored. So
I want to add with this, the story, like,
Yes, Praveen.
I have, without hope, there is no life. So my hope,
Huh.
so what I'm thinking about tomorrow,
Huh.
that's about, the whole thing there. Like,
Huh.
like Divya, I'm that person. My hope are the stuff they have.
So what is your what does it signify? So how you relate it with Aladdin's story? Who is Aladdin and what is this magic?
Yeah, like Divya, we have, it's like, if you think about myself,
Huh.
our hope is that thing. So, I don't know, it's
Hope,
gonna, it's gonna get, it's gonna, I don't know, it's gonna be, get our hopes, but yeah, we
Yeah.
are hoping for the best,
So if the magic lamp is the hope, who is Aladdin? Is that you or?
Maybe I have to go for my hard work.
Excellent.
How
That's
long I
nice.
work
Nice
hard,
perspective. So you find a hope in this magic lamp, isn't
Yeah.
it? Beautiful.
Because I don't
Beautiful.
believe those stories, like those stories are just
No,
stories.
these are stories. Stories. It's not. It's beyond our belief. We are creating possibilities out of these stories. Small rhymes. We can generate a lot of knowledge out of that. A lot of perspectives out of that, which can even change our life. Which has changed many lives and which is actually affecting our life. Those small childhood stories which your grandma might have told you or told anybody, that has a lot of impact in our life. We don't know how it is acting. That's where the beauty of stories and metaphors, they act like they act very in a very subtle manner, very invisibly. So is there any more perspectives on Aladdin and the magic lamp? If not, I can just simply move.
I just wanted to say power of attraction.
Power
So
of attraction. Excellent.
So these my wishes to be fulfilled by this lamp.
Excellent.
It's like a magic wand in my mind hand.
Yes, it's magic wand itself. Exactly.
Yeah.
We've got
Yeah.
it.
And
Yeah,
my
bang
wishes are fulfilled.
Yeah.
I think we all
by
are
power
looking
of
at that,
attraction.
isn't it, Vasudha? I
Pardon?
think we all look at that. We all look for some magic wand to happen.
Beautiful, beautiful.
But it's in our hand, right? It's in our hand,
Exactly.
power of attraction. We can visualize something, our
So
We
dreams,
can.
and they can materialize.
And we can
Absolutely.
decide upon when to rub it, when to get the genie, when not to get the genie.
Exactly.
It is absolutely
Yes.
upon you. It's very beautiful. Beautifully said. It's nothing but
Yeah.
the power of attraction or the law of attraction or whatever people call it. I see this as a key to our subconscious or unconscious. This magic lamp is nothing but a key to our subconscious mind. How
And the
to
other thing
open
is
our
sometimes it will be a helper, like, maybe we are in struggle and there is a person like helping us,
exactly.
and that
It could
moment.
It could be exactly. But the beauty of this thing is that person is a manifestation of our own self. It comes not from outside. It comes from inside. In fact, that's the beauty of this story. That person who comes, that godfather or someone, I'm just calling it as godfather, someone comes and helps us, takes us away in a particular, you might have heard of a story where someone was conversing with the god. So this guy is walking. Every time he walks, he could see 4 footsteps behind. Then he's asking, I heard this story 2 days back in a session where whenever he goes, he turns back and he could see 4 footsteps. Then he asked, why, God, I have 4 footsteps? Because I am there with you, God says. And after a while, when a problem comes, he could see only 2 footsteps behind. Then he got really irritated. What happened? It is only 2 footsteps. When a problem is there, you are not with me. Where are you? Then he said, God said, he or she. God said, uh, it's my footsteps only. I am holding you because I am holding you when the problem is. So that who comes from outside is none other than ourselves. We manifest it. It's from our inside only that person comes.
So Ajit, a time conscious call.
Yes.
So it's 5:56 here. So we have another 4 more minutes left. So probably we can extend for another 9 minutes if everyone is okay.
Yes. One second. There's a.
Now you're in the last slide.
Yeah. Can you see this screen? Sorry.
Yeah, no, we can't see the screen. Okay.
Just.
Q&A.
Not sharing now.
Yeah, I'm sharing the screen. Is it visible?
Yeah. Now, Radin is visible. The next slide.
Yeah. So as you all know, this is nothing but a bottleneck which we face in everyday life. This is the bottleneck which we face. Bottleneck which constrains us, which press us from moving forward, which restricts us. And what is this? Can anybody tell me?
Circle.
Circle, excellent. It is just the human capability that we identify a circle. These are just some set of slides, some set of some pieces, rectangular pieces, just simply distributed in a two-dimensional plane. Simply, thrown in a two-dimensional plane, we can find a circle out of that. That is the human capacity. So human brain has two language. It doesn't understand Hindi, it doesn't understand English, it doesn't understand Malayalam, it doesn't understand Spanish. What it understands then? It has it has two languages which brain can understand, that is imagination and association. Based on association and imagination, you've identified a circle from these pieces, rectangular pieces. So moving towards the last activity, I want you to choose one glass out of these given glasses. One is an empty glass, second one is a half filled glass, third one is of course full filled glass, fourth one is an inverted glass with no water, nothing probably inside. You can unmute yourself and assert your choice. You can share your choice. Which one would you choose?
For me, empty glass.
For you, empty glass. What it signifies, because this is a model which makes you choose this one. What empty glass is for you, Vasudha?
So my mind is empty, and I want to receive more and more knowledge.
Great.
Amazing.
I mean, I really
Amazing.
appreciate. I really
Beautiful.
wonderful. It's an empty glass, the empty cup, the Zen story you might have heard. It's beautiful.
No one is coming up with anything funny. Participants, please think of something funny.
I choose the third glass.
Third glass. Thank you, Arun. Can you please tell me what it signifies for you?
It's signifying nothing. It is just a thought which came across in the mind. It's early in the morning, so I get up in the morning and like to have a warm or a lukewarm glass of water. So that is what the first thought that came to my mind. That it is that lukewarm water in front of me, and
that cleans you in the morning. That energizes you. Water is energy.
Correct.
Beautiful, beautifully said. And you don't want to have half filled glass. You want a full energy, isn't it? Am I correct in that sense?
Yes.
For me,
Yeah.
glass.
Yeah, just a second. I couldn't hear. Can you please repeat?
Second glass.
Second glass. Why do you think second glass?
Because there is half water in that. I can think what can be mixed, either milk or lemon or anything.
Yeah.
You can mix anything.
Yeah.
Or in
You
other
can
way,
create more possibilities out of a half filled glass.
yeah, in another way, what I can think is like I have made enough mistake. Now I have the list of mistakes I made, and I can unwrap the mistakes.
Okay, excellent. So how beautifully each of these glasses signify for you. You are actually you started hacking your entities. Full glass may be abundance for someone, abundance of energy or which energizes. Whereas half glass is a possibility for someone else. An unfilled glass is possibility for receiving for someone else. How conceptually we think, I think we are just getting connected to that. If there are no more responses, shall we move? Is there any responses in the chat box, or anyone wants to
No,
speak?
no, nothing, nothing,
more
Ajit.
choice?
And Ajit, now we need to move on, please.
Yeah, that which I have shown you about this bottleneck. When you have any bottleneck in your life, which you are really constrained, which really constrains you, it can be health, it can be money, it can be a relationship, anything. Try to invert this and see. You can create a bottleneck. When inverted, become a funnel. The funnel may mean a lot because it can receive more. It creates possibilities. It can generate more. At the same time, it filters and gets what you really need, rather than getting stuck in the juncture where there is a bottleneck. So create funnels in your life, or generate. Problems are nothing but possibilities. Problems are bottlenecks, which if you simply invert, become possibilities beyond probabilities.
Sir, I want to add one with that. Can you go to the last picture?
Yes.
I feel like it's like a yield. There is a pause in a life. So we have to move on with new opportunities, or we're gonna keep strong and move on. That's what I feel about that picture, the first one.
Yeah, it's your ways are open now. Your choices are open now. You have many ways to go ahead, where you are not stuck in the already available way. You are stuck earlier. What you said is correct. You are opening up possibilities. You are opening up ways to, rather than getting out of a problem, rather than creating something bigger than what the problem. So the problem came like this, and just by inverting it, you're creating possibilities. Brilliant. Thank you, Praveen. So I could see something in the chat box. Is there any response? You can probably read it.